So here we are. Welcome back to the new live here with eSUN. I'm always Silver from Silver Cost Lab. So welcome. Let me check if it's working. The audio as usual. How is the quality? It looks normal. Here we are. Okay, audio looks good. So let me see if somebody will join me today, or as usual, I will start by myself. It starts to become a little bit cold again these days. I had 1 week that it was super hot here in China. Now it starts to be cold again. So how are you guys? What did you do this week? What amazing print did you do? This week I just made one helmet because I was busy to a big project that for now I cannot say anything because I'm under embargo. I just made this one here, I think maybe you already saw on the eSUN channel. This is Wolverine. Deadpool. This is the Strike Force, I think it's calling. I don't remember. Maybe you can write here in the comments the kind of Deadpool helmet because it's the comic one, but with this color is I don't remember. He has a particular name like Strike Force, Force X, Force X. I don't remember. This one is another amazing file from Yosh Studio, and this one I printed with a little bit of glue here, a line of glue. Remove. I print with the eSUN PLA Gray HS high speed here. Morning, Drew. Thank you for the sound and the video check. Welcome. Thank you for staying with me today. I would say this one I made with the eSUN PLA plus HS is the new line of eSUN. HS is for high speed and is a filament that is supported by high flow and is a specific design for work better with the new generation of printer that's going very fast. And today I will explain you also why some filament like this one is very good to use with your Bamboo, with your eSUN, with you any cubic Cobra series. So any printer, the Creality Pt.1, any printer that he can print fast, he needs a fast PLA. The black one, that is my best part, I love so much, is eSUN PLA matte black. And I will never say enough that I love the matte. So look here, I saw in the video, you can check in the eSUN channel, it looks like a resin. It's not post-process, it's not sanding, it's not painting, it's just print like this one. This helmet is 2 pieces here on the back, and also the eye you have the possibility to remove. Everything is connected well with a magnet. For all the people that ask me which kind of magnet every time I use, normally I'm using this kind of round magnet that I'm calling N52, that are the strongest magnet here. And this one working very well to hold in position your helmet without any problem. You are not afraid that if you are moving, they can lose the contact. These N52 magnets are super strong, and you don't even need to put all around the corner. I just put one here, 2 and 3, and they can hold the helmet here in position very well. But today I'm not talking about this helmet. Oh, good morning. It's what, 2 Fahrenheit. I'm very bad with Fahrenheit and Celsius, so I'm not sure how cold could be, but 2 Fahrenheit, I think it's very, very cold. Here now we are around 10, that it's already cold, but tonight it will drop down around 2 or 3 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So today I decided to make the live because every time I post some of my work on my Instagram, and you can find here in the description my Instagram. So remember to follow me on my Instagram to see all the projects that I make with the eSUN. And also don't forget to subscribe here to the eSUN channel, activate the bell, so every time I will make some live or eSUN promote some new video, you will receive the notification. Start from now, for the next month, I want to make some tutorial about Orcaslicer, because every time I post something, many people ask me what slicer did I use, how does this slicer work, why everyone using this slicer, if I can share the settings. So today, start from today, I want to answer all your questions. This one is not resin, it's PLA. You can see here at the top a little bit the grind when you make the PLA start like this one, and the black one also is PLA. It's all PLA, nothing is resin. It's not post-processed, there is no sanding, there is no painting. This is raw print, or as I can say, high quality raw print. You see here, there is some part of the support that still didn't remove it, but normally when you're wearing, you cannot see, so it's not a big problem. This is the PLA from eSUN. PLA plus high speed, the gray one, PLA matte black, the black one, and PLA plus red fire engine for the red eyes. So I will say that I want to make this kind of tutorial starting from the very beginning. So every week I will cover one aspect of Orcaslicer to help the people to understand how it's working, why me and most of the YouTubers and most of the makers on the world for now, they consider Orca the best slicer. Everyone is moving there. And so today let's start with the tutorial. So let me go to the screen here. And put my face down one moment. Yeah, of course, if you zoom out, you can see a little bit the layer, but for normal use, when you just click and visit, you don't see anything. It's fantastic. And for be just a raw print, is super good. So this one is Orcaslicer. First, where you can download Orcaslicer? Here from GitHub, you can just write on Google Orcaslicer, you will come here. This is the software Orcaslicer. What is Orcaslicer? It's a slicer that is copied by Prusa Slicer, and Prusa Slicer copied by Super Slicer. So it took the best of the previous two slicers and make it better. Is copied by Bamboo Slicer, that is the slicer designed only for the bamboo. And the first difference from Orcaslicer to Bamboo Slicer is that Orca you can use with every printer, not only Bamboo series. You can use from your Creality, Anycubic, eSUN, IdeaMaker, Prusa, whatever you have printer with Marlin or Clipper, you can use it. So after you go here to the GitHub software, I put the link in the description. On this page, what you need to go is here, release. Orcaslicer, now we reach the version 1.9.0 of your release, is running the latest. You just select here. Here they write what's new on Orcaslicer, what's the new, and here you can find all the file for install. You have the portable that you don't need to install, Windows, Mac, Linux, you have every version. When the weather is really cold out, do you have planning to showcase trying to print TPU flex filament? I tried once to print the TPU with eSUN. I used the eSUN TPU. I made this one. Wait a moment. This one was actually my first test with TPU. I never tried before. Wait, let me come back bigger. Here we are. Here. I made this Batman. It was the first experiment, and I learned that first one, gluing the TPU together is very difficult. It's not so easy to keep it in position. Second, the retraction, it must be perfect, otherwise here it make a lot of defect. This one is not defect of the print, it's just the retraction that leaks some holes that after is stick on the mask, because the other side is perfect. And the support, it really left some marks. But overall, this mask is super squishy, like rubber, and with the hat I can wear it. I really love it because it's super squishy. It's easy to wear it, and it's nice effect, but it's not suitable for every project. It was a test, and I never tried during the cold, but normally all my printers have the enclosure, so even if it's cold, it's not a big problem. Also, the resin, when I'm printing the resin in the winter, I have one heater inside the box because you need to keep the resin warm. So I don't think it would be a big problem about the weather, honestly. So yeah, the traction is should totally disable. That one was very short, like 0.2 maybe, but they told me that it's better if you disable directly. So this is Orcaslicer. Here we are. When you first time open Orcaslicer, here you will not have any of this project, of course. Here you don't have the login already made. You have to log in. Now, actually, I cannot show you how create your account because during some internet problem, if I disconnect, I cannot reconnect when the live is on. I need to close the program for run the live. I tested before, but that one is very straightforward, simple. You just make log in and create one account. It's not necessary have one account because you can use also Orcaslicer without any account. But the benefit to make one, they take a lot of advantage. So I really suggest to make one because this is one of the best features of Orcaslicer is that all your settings, all your preferences are saved on the cloud. So doesn't matter wherever you are, if you have a printer in your office, a printer at home, or you travel around the world, you find one printer, you just log in on your account here and you instantly can download all your settings, your printer, your profile, and everything you made, so you can directly use the same settings, doesn't matter wherever you are. Now, for the beginning, what languages Orcaslicer has? It doesn't have only English. If you select here and go on preference, you can see you have your languages. You have major languages: Chinese, English, French, Deutsch, Italian, Viva, and many other languages. Normally, even if I'm from Italy, I always keep the language from the slicers in English. Not because the translation is wrong, but most of the tutorial that you can find online, and when normally the people talk about some setting, they always using the English words. So it's how I learned at the beginning how to work as a 3D printer. I always say retraction, I say layer high, so I say English names, so I always keep it in English. Login region here, I need to put China because I'm in China. Here you can just select Europe, Asia, or whatever you are. Is for login to your account. So the first thing, when you open Orcaslicer, here of course you will not have this one. You will have this one. What up? Here, okay, I clicked too many times. Is the printer selection. Orcaslicer, like many other slicers now, they have already a very good selection of printer. What does it mean? It means that you don't need to create your own file, G-code, and printer from the beginning, at least for the most popular printer. Most of them are already here. You can just scroll down here and select, for example, we have the Anchor M5, some printer from Anycubic, But for example, 20 cubic is missing the Cobra Max 2 series. I'm still waiting that update. They have the Cobra 2, not the Max. So if you want to use the new series, you need to use this one and edit. They have the artillery, the Bamboo Lab, of course. And for some printer, they have also the different nozzle options. 0.4, 2, 0.6, 0.8. They have the BQ, the Comgro, I don't know, some Creality, many Creality, a Legu, we have a lot of Legu, the Flashforge, FL-SUN. We see here it's flagged FL-SUN V400 because it's the printer that I'm using. Flyingberg, and go on. So the Prusa, the Chidi, Race 3D, the Rat Rig, you have a lot. So it's very difficult that you don't have your printer. In case you don't have your printer, you can just select something that is similar to your printer, and after you can edit a little bit. But most of the time, if you don't have your file, you can just go in some official group on Facebook, ask there, for sure somebody already made a printer with the file for your printer. What you can do is select the printer that you have. For example, here I select the FL-SUN V400, confirm, and he will add here the printer. Here we have the first two differences. First one is user presets, and here system presets. The system one is the printer that I just add here and is sitting on this computer, is what I add. I'm using the standard default FL-SUN V400. If you go to edit something and saving by yourself, the printer will be passed here on the user presets. And these one are the presets that you will find when you will download the Orcaslicer on another computer, log with your username and password, you will find this printer that you saved here. For example, I have one that is standard FL-SUN V400, another one called time-lapse, because is using some G-code edit for making the time-lapse. A moment. So first one, this one is the first difference from system preset and user presets. If you want to add another printer in the future, you just click here on this wheel. You can select another printer. For example, if I want to put, let me think, Creality, the K1 Max 0.4 nozzle, I just select here, confirm, and here, as you can see, is appear Creality K1 Max 0.4 nozzle with his information. Now, let me remove it because I don't have the Creality. Creality never sent me one, so I never had the chance to try it. Yeah, back to my preset. Let's come back to the original one directly. Now, if you select here, edit preset, you have some options. But the first things to do when you add one printer is select this connection option here. This one, you open your physical printer and give you the option to connect to internet or to web sale, to let using the internet web mail service. You have different host type, can be Octoclipper, Prusalink, Prusa Connect, Astrobox, Repeatia host. Any connection that you can use probably is supported by Orcaslicer. This one is something that you need to check if your printer has the Wi-Fi capability and is option and is able to be connected by Mainsail or to connect to Octo printer. But after you select this one, if I go here to the device, and now I cannot because I'm using a program for because my printer is offline. Let me turn on. I need to turn on the printer, otherwise. If I don't turn on the printer, I cannot connect to the printer, of course. Let me remember my, yeah, ADP is this one. Okay, so After you select your printer here, you just put your IP address that you can see on the printer, and you can be able to connect it. Now, the FLSUN is a diesel and it's sometimes turned on. So here I will come back later. The other option here is this one. Click to edit the preset. Or here we have the first information about our printer, that if you use a preset that is already good for your printer, you should not change anything. But in case you edit some preset for some printer that is similar to yours, here you have all the options that you need to check. First one, we have the printable area. This one is give you the shape of your bed. It can be rectangular, circular, or you can custom. You can put the size of your bed, and you can add the texture on the model. What are these? The texture is this one. You see, in this case, the plate have the bed that has the logo and the writing of FLSUN. You can find the PNG online normally if you don't have. And if you just load here, you can load your file and it will appear there. Model, some printer you can find the 3D model online. You can just load also and you will see your 3D printer there. It's just something fancy. It's not something that is very important. For example, oops, now I remove something. Let me don't save. You see, I remove the texture and it will become an empty plate. This one, excluded bed area. This one is for some printer that have some option, some part of the bed that is not possible to print. One for all is the Bamboo Lab that have one area on the corner that you are not allowed to print because it's for the LiDAR or for the perch tower to make there is calibration, everything. You can select here some perch tower, some area, and you will see on the slicer. I show you on Bamboo Slicer directly because I have there. As you can see, Bamboo Slicer and Orcaslicer are totally the same. If I select like this one, here see in the corner, we have this gray area. This one is not printable. I cannot put one item there. If I select, let me try this one. File that I print now with weight tracing, just for example. And I don't need to make this one. I can just add a cube. If I make here error, oh, here you have my picture. It's an error. The cube is an exclusion area that might be collision, so you need to remove it. So this one is the excluding area. Usually the most printer, they don't need to put anything, so it's always 0. Printable height is how tall is your print. For example, in this case, the V400 is 410 millimeter taller, and you can put here support multi-bed types. You can select this one if you have different bed types like the Bamboo, because you have the LiDAR of the sensor that it can check what's your bed. So you can make this one. Nozzle volume, this one is important to keep 0. It doesn't matter because it's something that we go to see later during the filament settings. It's important to see the flow volumetric of your filament, and it's why I recommend to use the eSUN PLA H-Speed now with this faster printer. Best object position is how I arrange the automatic bed. The offset is the baby step when we are adjusting the printer. Normally, it's something that you don't need to change here because most of the printer you can change directly on the printer control on the screen, on the LCD, whatever you have in real time. So you don't have to make here. For example, the Bamboo user, they don't have the baby step to adjust the Z offset. 99% of the time it's working very good on a Bamboo, but if you find that your first layer is too squishy or too high, you need to adjust that from here manually. Here is the G code, and this one you need to see, and you need to know if your printer is using a Marlin, a Clipper, or wrap. So here you need to check and use what your firmware. G-code thumbnails is the preview that you can see on some printer. When you are printing something, you can see the picture that is showing to you what are you going to print. This one you can select from here, but is not supported by all the printer, and some printer can have some difference. Sometimes it's 32 by 32, sometimes it's 30 by 30. That one is depends on the screen of your printer, not from the slicer. So here is like a test you need to try. Using relative distance, this one is something that I want to show you later, is about the absolute extrusion mode. It's something that we need to talk more in the future, so I just skip for now. Here, firmware retraction, the same. You can select here and put your own film or your own retraction distance, but it's something that you going to edit filament by filament, because it's dependent on the filament also. So it's something that you not set from here. You go to select directly from the filament. Time cost money, he show you more or less how much is the cost of 1 hour of printing if you select. Cooling fan, speed up time and kickstart time. This one is nice because some printer, they have some fan that is start very slow, and if select like for printing PTG a fan that is only needed 20% of the power, some fan cannot even start. So this one is for helping some fan. You give like one boost at the beginning. You say like for the first 3 seconds, go to 100%. So the fan start to 100% for 3 seconds. And after it drop down like for 20 that you select on your slicer, and it will work. If you select directly 20% on your filament without giving one boost on the beginning, some fan that are very slow maybe cannot even start, so remaining to 0. Extruded clearance is the, if I don't remember wrong, this one is the dimension of your head that you need to use when you make multiple item printing sequentially. So first you print one item, after you print another item. You need to say to the print how big is the head. So when he's moving, he can check and see if he have enough space to move up, left or right without collide on other item. Otherwise you crash and break everything. And here you have the nozzle type. This one, it's only work when it's important to use only when you select also support multi-bed types, because if you select some nozzle and you put some bed that you need very high temperature of the nozzle, and you didn't select the correct nozzle, it can give you some alarm. So if you use, for example, a stainless steel nozzle and you select one PLA that he needs 300 degrees, you give one alarm, hey, the nozzle you select is not supporting this temperature. So just click here and select the nozzle that you have. And here we have our auxiliary part cooling fan. Some printer, they have one external fan connect like the bamboo that is very helpful when you are printing the PLA, for example. It is this fan that he blow the air horizontally like this one directly on the nozzle to keep it to print very fast. So if your printer has one auxiliary fan, you can select here to abilitate this one also. Here we have our G-code. And normally this one is, if you don't know nothing about the G-code, it's better that you don't change anything. It's one reason why I say that most of the printers are already here. You don't need to change anything. If you don't have your G-code, you can ask in some group, or maybe if you have your printer on Cura that has more printer than this one, you can just add the printer on Orcaslicer, open the information, paste and copy the start and the G-code, and copy here, and you are done. Multi-material, this one is for the multicolor, especially for the bamboo, for example, they have the MS, or something different like the Prusa, the XL, the 5 head is not compatible very well for now, because the way that he considered the multi-material is one head with the nozzle go in, the filament go in, go out every time and change. It doesn't consider the idea to have more physical head. So until now, it's not well supported for the printer with more than one extrusion. Extrusion type here, you have your nozzle diameter, standard is 0.4. Here you have the layer height limits, minimum and maximum. This one is for the, how it's calling, the variable layer height. It's when you print something with different layer height, it gives you the minimum layer height that you can reach with your printer and your nozzle. In this case, I can reach minimum 0.08. I cannot go smaller than this one, and I cannot printer bigger than 0.3. The position of the extruder is where he positioned the extruder on the beginning, 0 is the center. Here we have the retraction. This one is some generic information from retraction standard, but as I told you before here on the basic information, where it was, here on the, not the offset, a film retraction here is something that you are going to change according to your filament. So here, yes, you can have one default settings that you can use as standard, and after you can adjust for every single filament. But this one is something that we go to see next time. Lift Z enforcement, also set the hope. You can give some extra settings to say to the head to lift only when you reach some taller high, or only when it's very low, only on the top layer, only on the bottom layer. Generic, just keep default like this one. And also here is the retraction when it's switching material, is for the multicolor. Motion ability, this one is the limit to the G-code. The machine, if you keep like this one, it will use these settings here. If you delete this one, you can change according to the speed here and edit. But this one, you are talking about the maximum speed and the acceleration. For example, max speed on X, Y, and Z. This one you can see inside your firmware, or usually now the printer company, they always give this value. This is the maximum acceleration, and these are the jerk. This is the value that or you know, or you check on your printer config, or you need to ask where you can take it, because it's not some value that you can just try. The acceleration is doesn't mean that you move 20k millimeter by second every time, but it's the acceleration maximum that the printer that can reach. That usually is difficult that you can reach this kind of the speed. And here you have the option for saving. If you save something, you just rename here, and as I told you before, your printer, it will be appear here. For example, if now here I change something, I change that this one is become 320, become the S1, so it's bigger. You see now the bed is bigger. Now it doesn't have a good PNG shape because I don't have the picture, so it's remaining like this one, but doesn't matter. If I go to save here, I will call eSUN S1. My computer crashed. Thank you for participating. Yeah, he has some problem with the connection today. He crashed Orca. Very good. Yes, let's open again. Sometimes happen. Even with a very good computer, sometimes can happen. So I will say very fast, if here I just change the settings, just change the dimension, and save, I hope it will not crash again. Okay, I found one bug on Orcaslicer today. I cannot rename the bed. I don't know if it's a problem on this version, because before I always edit the name of the printer, but as you can see, if I rename the printer, it crashed today. It's very weird. Yeah, I cannot rename the printer. So just pretend to do it. Again, if I rename the printer, I will find here FLSUN T104 nozzle. Now, here on the device, I told you before, if you put your IP address of your printer and your printer support the mainsail or the internet connection, when you go here on device, in this case, I have directly my mainsail where I can just upload the file. I can upload from here. If I select one file after a slice, I can say upload to the printer, upload and print or cancel. If I upload the cube and go to the device, here on the G code, I will find my cube that I just made here. I can just select, say print, and the printer will start to print. From here, you have all this case because the V400 support mainsail. I have all the interface with my temperature, the machine speed limits, maximum 600 millimeters, acceleration 10K, my tool head, the macros, all the options, the webcam when it's connecting, the console, my bed. My God, it's so bad. All the options that you can have from your mainsail. This one is depend from the firmware of your printer, of course. With Clipper, this one is usually what you can see. From here, you can control every aspect of your printer. So it's very important. If you have the option, try, put your IP address of your printer, give OK, check on device, and if you can see something here, you are using the printer online. And Given is much more simple to send some G code instead to go every time to the printer USB. Bring them many times problems. Sometimes the pen drive can have some issue. So much better making this way. On the bed type here, if you select a printer that support multiple bed, you have the option for select the bed. For example, the Bamboo has these options. For example, for now, I think it is the only one that has some very different for cool bed, textured, and engineering and something like that. So usually this one, it will be always default. Filament is the last thing that we go to see today. When you add a printer, here you can see some filament. Because now I'm selecting this one. Need to add the remove filament. I should see all the vendor. Why I think? Because I select the FLSUN. If you add one new printer, for example, Creality, generic, Bamboo, one generic P, one P, Bamboo. Don't crash. Here you have some filament that is already pre-made. But if you go here you can see some other brand of filament that you can usually find, like a Bamboo, like FLSUN, and is also eSUN. I don't know why now is disappear. eSUN PLA Plus, for example. Here you have some profile that is made by the makers or from the official company that you can select only what you have, because it's useless to select all if you don't have. For example, I select eSUN PLA Plus. You select confirm, and this one will add to all the printers. So I want to add only on the Bamboo because I don't want to touch my profile. And here you can see now I have eSUN PLA Plus. Here is a preset of the filament from eSUN PLA Plus made by eSUN. So it's good profile with a good temperature range, max volumetric speed correct for print. So even for the filament, it's very simple. You just select here, select the brand of your filament and add here. Here you can add more filament if you have multicolor. And this one we'll go to see in depth next time when I teach you how to make a profile for the filament and how to make a profile here with the settings here. Because this one is most important part, how to select correctly the profile for the filament. There is one setting that is very important, that is this one, max volumetric speed. I just want to show one thing very fast. Imagine you are printing something very big like this one. This one, if I select normal normal PLA is using a max volumetric speed 12 millimeter cube by second. Is meaning that more than 12 millimeter cube, the filament, it cannot be melted, so it cannot be printed. So even if you put the speed to 10,000 millimeter by second, if you exceed the 12 millimeter cube by second of volumetric speed, you will not print. For example, here I'm using a very fast speed like 300 millimeter by second internal 120 with acceleration of 10k. So it's a fast profile from a V400. If I select this huge cube with a normal PLA, can be also the eSUN classic PLA, is the normal PLA that you can use around, you will see that you took 15 hours for print this huge cube here. And you can see if you select here the speed and you go in any point, you can see here your speed normally is around 147 millimeter, even if you select 300, because faster than this one the printer cannot go. 400 is just the travel. So most of the time you're printing 147, even if you select 300 millimeter by second, or in fill is even 300 in fill. But if I select, for example, the PLA HS high speed, he has a maximum volumetric speed 32. It means that he allowed to print faster because he has bigger, higher volumetric flow speed. So without change any of the settings, if I just print and changing the PLA from normal PLA plus to the high speed of the eSUN from 15 hours, this one it will become 10 hours and 27 minutes. 4 hours and 40 minutes left. It's almost 25% faster. And if I go to see here the speed, you see I'm going 300 because I put 300x maximum speed. If I put 500, for example, probably this one, it will allow me to print even faster. There is one limit, of course, that also this flow can make. You can Drew, you can select your preset here from the printer. After you select the printer, you can select all the filament that you save and all the settings, the user preset you change. So if you have different printer, you just change printer, you change your filament that you're using, you change your preset here, and you need to change anything. It's automatically. It supports many printers. So it's very convenient to use a slicer like this one. So if I select 500 millimeter by second, you see maximum can reach is 393. It's a little bit faster. It's meaning that this H speed PLA Plus from eSUN cannot be printed faster than this one. If you want to go faster, you need to raise up the temperature to give more flow rate, but maybe you decrease the quality. But you reach like 10 hours, 14 minutes, for example. So this one is one important thing that I'll just make a snapshot for you for the next time, is the important why I'm always using, and I'm always now in this period suggest, if you have a faster print, Bamboo, Creality, Anycubic, FL-Sun, Prusa, because the Prusa now they have the input shaper for the print faster, you need a good quality of PLA, of filament. If you have a slow filament, it's useless that you have a very fast printer, you cannot reach that kind of speed. The PLA Plus HS of eSUN, it can reach, as you can see, 32 max volumetric speed, meaning that I can print more than 25% faster with the same quality, like this one. This print, this mask here, when I made it, I was the face shell here, it was, let me come back full screen. Yeah, it was 14 hours to print this gray part in the front with the HS speed filament. With the normal PLA, it was almost 19 hours. So it's not a big difference, maybe you can think, but if you need to print a lot, it can change. If you are printing for selling, it's meaning that you can earn much more money because you can produce much more stuff faster with the same amazing quality that we always reach with the eSUN PLA filament. Again, this one is a raw print. After I finish to remove this part here, it's ready to be sent to my clients that he commissioned me this one. So today, this one was the first tutorial, the first part of Orcaslicer. I just showed to you how to create a new printer profile, or if you have your printer, how to adjust the settings. And I explain also the settings, what do they do. So if you want to know, if you want to need to change something, now you know which settings you have to use it. I hope what I said is clear. If something you didn't understand, if I explained not very clear, you want more information, just write here in the comments, write what you would like to explain me again. I will type and add you an answer in the chat, or maybe I will make also another video to explain better if something was not clear. Next time, I want to show you how to make a profile for your filament and the generic settings that you can use for making a standard good profile. And I will share also my profile that I made with the eSUN V400 with the eSUN PLA Plus and eSUN PLA HS, that as you can see, it works very good and it's a very good start point. Not all the profile can be the same to every printer, it's normal. My profile, even if you have the same printer, same filament, you cannot use 100% in the same way. Maybe just one screw that is tied a little bit more, and need to change some settings on your printer, the flow, for example, or the retraction. But for sure, it's a solid, good starting point. So if you have a V400 and you want to use the eSUN PLA Plus, don't forget to check next week, next tutorial that I will upload here also my personal profile. So for today is all. Thank you. Remember to subscribe here on the channel of eSUN, and also don't forget to visit my Instagram.